Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to respond to your posts and your tasks for week 4. This is the summary instructor response, and as you know, I'm your instructor, Ishana Artra. Uh, Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to congratulate you. You are accomplishing quite a lot this week, and it will serve you in this course and afterwards as well. The questions that arise from your experience as well as the insights. They will serve you. So, in these next 5 weeks, I invite you to notice what you are learning about your beliefs, about your participants, and your topic. So, what are you learning about your own beliefs, about your participants, and about your topic? The beliefs you hold about your participants and about your topic. I'm repeating that because it's often overlooked by researchers that our beliefs are a part of what we're studying, are a part of what we need to be noticing before, during, and after interviews. So, this self reflection will aid you in discerning the impact of using different approaches. Well, how is that possible? Different approaches will correspond more or less with your beliefs, and different approaches will help you to manage those beliefs, either by bringing those beliefs in as a research tool or bracketing them more effectively, most effectively at a certain stage in the research. So it's for you to discern what your priorities are. If it's self-investigation through your research, then a more heuristic approach, such as intuitive inquiry or straight heuristics, may interest you. Or if your interest is more focused on what the participants are experiencing, what it's like for others, then perhaps a more straight phenomenological approach will be appropriate. Uh, and you'll have a better sense of that, I hope, after going through this interview process and experiencing the challenge of analyzing the data. So, as you're experiencing these initial interviews, uh, they're going to bring to light certain key features of your research design. I'm going to read to you from the document I've written that is this summary response. So here are just some of the many questions that you may now be able to better address. Do you believe that participants can report pre-mediated experience? Can participants describe their experience to you in a way that conveys what the experience was like before they were influenced by any social expectations or any personal reflection upon the experience? Is it possible for them to do that? And does that interest you? Would you want to get at the meaning of the experience for each participant or the essential meaning that unites several participants? Are you interested in the meaning of the experience? And if you are you interested in what that meaning is for each participant separately or for as a general essential meaning that's common to all of the participants that defines the experience? Are you most interested in your own experience and how it compares with others? Are you looking for a manifest or a latent, or both, level of understanding of the topic? So, in other words, what are its constituent elements? What are its constituent elements? That would be a manifest level of understanding. Or, what does it mean to the experiencer? That would be a latent level. Another way to abbreviate that is what is, and so that the let's say your topic is scuba diving, or no, well, yeah, is inspired scuba diving. So inspired scuba diving is blank, And then what are the elements that make it up? Or inspired scuba diving as, and that would get at a meaning for the participants. And a final question that I pose to you as one of the many possibilities that may be arising for you as you approach your analysis: can verbal interviewing alone get at your grand tour question? Will spoken words in a narrative fashion in response to your questions, or written words in an open-ended format, get at your grand tour question if that's all you have? That's the only form of data you have. Now, you might be familiar with the possibility of art-based research methods, and also the secondary reports, what other people have noticed about your participant. So those are just two examples of adding to verbal interviewing alone. So now, with your new data in hand, it's time to look for patterns. PhD, right? I believe the P stands for patterns. Patterns that address your grand tour question. That's what you're looking for. And you're also staying available for other patterns that might arise that reveal something about your topic you might not have considered before, or something that gets at your grand tour question that you might not have considered before. Now, I've also inserted in the document at this point, in big, bold, all capital letters, a question. Have you read the instructions for thematic content analysis? The instructions are located in a file named Instructions, Thematic Data Analysis, PDF. It's posted in both weeks 4 and week 5, and it's in the Data Analysis folder. I know that there are a lot of readings to keep up with, and so I'm hoping it's helpful to remind you of the one that you'll need to use to apply. It's the one to focus on for analyzing this interview. Now, in the next weeks that are coming up, you're moving towards analyzing the transcription and your field notes. You may have made notes while you were conducting the interview, notes about your bodily sensations, notes about images that came to you, or perhaps you had auditory signals of some kind that came to you, messages, or you observed something in your interviewee that intrigued you or that made an impact on you of some kind. Those are examples of your field notes from during the interview. So the instructions for analyzing those notes and the interview are located in the folder I mentioned earlier. And you'll be posting in week 5 your questions about the process and any comments you have, similar to week 4. You're not going to post your final thematic content analysis yet. You have time. You'll continue to explore approaches and over the next few weeks. And these may influence your perspective on the transcription data and inspire ideas for new questions for future interviews, as well as give you inspiration for looking for certain things in the data you already have that you might not have had an eye towards before. So your final analysis, that will be a part of your final paper for this course. The course timeline means that you have several weeks to reflect upon and integrate the lessons you've learned from this interview and from its subsequent analysis. You have several weeks to reflect and integrate those. Now, in your program at Sophia, you have several months to continue integrating those lessons into your research proposal. So it begins here Remember that it begins with this class. It doesn't end with this class. Then, again, during your dissertation research, a similar cycle of learning and integrating will occur, likely with each interview, even during your research. Therefore, it's good to practice now, allowing for not knowing everything about your topic or your interview design right now. This is a good opportunity to begin practicing allowing yourself to not know everything about your topic and your research design right now. Now, you are gaining new insights, and as I mentioned earlier, that may lead you towards an approach that we're exploring in this course, or towards an approach that you discover after this course. So these essentially are insights you're gaining into your own curiosity, as well as your topic. So as you gain insights into your own curiosity, these insights are essential for selecting an approach. Each approach applies its own set of beliefs and about experience. Each approach applies its own set of beliefs about experience, about knowledge, and about reality. The approach positions your perspective onto the topic through the requisite selection of and sequencing of methods. So the approach operationalizes your perspective. In week 5, you will also revisit your research triad. So in the first 3 weeks, when you were working on your problem, your purpose, your topic statement, and your grantor question, and bringing those into greater consciousness and articulation for others to respond to, and for me to draw attention to assumptions that they contained or to ask for clarification. Uh, the purpose is so that they can be very conscious for you and for others as you disclose them in your research and use them to design your research. You'll you'll be revisiting those next and refining them, putting them together into a paper in week 5. So here is how the paragraph in the summary document reads. In week 5, you will also revisit your research triad, which had you set up for the interview. It set you up for the interview. I like to think of this interview week as the launch of the applied phase of your program. This interview week, set up by the research triad statements and the grantor question, set you up for the interview. The prior weeks provided clarification of the foundation of your study, your main topic, the problem addressed, the purpose of your particular study, and its supporting grantor question. This clarification led to the interview, which addresses the grantor question. The clearer foundation helped focus the interview so that it generated richer data targeted to your specific inquiry. Now, that sentence assumes that your grantor question was a grantor question. Now, you may recall that there were posts of grantor questions where I mentioned that I wasn't certain that that would provide enough framework for you. And there were other posts where it was indeed obvious to me that that is a grantor question, according to the criteria laid forth by McCaslin and Scott in the 5 Questions Methods article. So this is your opportunity to reflect on that grantor question and see how your interview tied in with it and how the grantor question might be beefed up or refined in some way to support your interview questions going forward. And I would encourage you to revisit the 5 Questions Method article. So now, revisiting the research triad with the insights gained from conducting the interview, you might refine the topic, the problem, the purpose statements, and the grantor question. They are all up for renewal, up for revision. This class is about exploring your options and refining your ideas so that when you leave this class, your grantor question it has integrity. It has internal cohesiveness. It will hold together when someone's looking at the problem it addresses, when someone's looking at the purpose for your research design. They will relate directly to the grantor question. It will all add up. So examples are in the example triads file, and this can be found by searching the key phrase in the left sidebar in Angel. You just type in example triads in the sidebar in Angel in the search window there. Press the little magnifying glass, and that'll show you some example research triads, and you'll be submitting your research triad next week, week 5. So I'm going to close now, but first I'm going to repeat the reminder. Have you read the instructions for thematic content analysis? See the file by Rosemary Anderson, it is named, I forget what it's named, but it's one of the 2 documents in the instructions folder, in the folder on data analysis. It's named Instructions, Thematic Content Analysis.pdf. That's its name. Now, if you've already looked in that folder, I want you to rest assured I'm aware that there are now 2 documents, whereas before there were 3. Now there are only 2 documents in that folder because I removed what was the older version of the instructions. Somehow that missed the updating of the course. So it's clearer now, and her instructions are now prefaced with her explanation, and it's very helpful. So I've replaced Anderson's original instructions with her updated versions. So if you see that a 3rd file in the folder is no longer there, it's because the older version was removed. That's it. I hope you enjoy the process of being with your topic intimately, by being with your participant intimately through the interview process, and in looking at their data, at their words, and remembering what it was like to be with them, and any other observations that you made. I honor your journey, your learning, and everything that you're teaching me as well. We are learning this together. It's always about learning. So I look forward to learning together about your topics. See you online. What connects teachers with learners and teachers and learners with the future? Teaching and learning can take 2 routes. One route reinforces the self-image. The other route helps us transcend our preconceived notions of who and what we are and of what we can do, to go beyond our limits, to serve the highest good of others and ourselves. This is the realm of transformative teaching and learning, and it can occur with any topic. So, what can connect teachers and learners is the desire to become the best expression of what we value.